There are three things you shouldn't touch in the United States: guns, taxes, and Mr. Trump. You can go to jail for the first two. Third, it can ruin your long-term work, image, and everything you've worked hard to build. Jack Black is a great example. An artist who is hard to dislike, a pop culture icon, and a real national gem. There should be no scandals, drama, or teaching of the cross. Just pure fun, contagious happiness, and the look of a performer who was always loved. Many movies and TV shows, like Tenacious D, School of Rock, and Jabolinsky Games on YouTube, had the name Jack Black that made people laugh. One joke, though, changed everything. He surprised everyone by making fun of Donald Trump during a show. A joke that seemed harmless in the usual Jack Black way, but it made Trump supporters want to hurt him. There was reaction, and cancel hashtags appeared. Fans who used to think he was the last good guy in Hollywood started to doubt him. Old problems were brought to light in a way that was like a domino effect. There were questions about a charity he supported, politically charged comments he made in the past, and most importantly, how he handled the fallout with his close friend Kyle Gass and Tenacious D. He went from being liked by everyone to being a symbol of disappointment. What did really happen? Why did one joke make Jack Black so bad? Besides, does he deserve this? Today, we'll look at the fall of a man who used to be protected by Hollywood to show that in this delicate time, no one is safe. Tom Black became Jack Black in 1969. Grew to fame as a comedic star with a lot of energy and a special way of connecting with people. He started out with small parts in movies like High Fidelity, but it was his lead role in School of Rock that made him famous. As the enthusiastic fake teacher Dewey Finn, played by Jack Black, the character was funny, touching, and full of musical zeal. Characteristics that made him who he was in public. He made a unique brand of comedy with his band Tenacious D, which he started with Kyle Gass in 1994. They mixed rock music with songs that celebrated freedom and absurdity. When his YouTube account, Jabolinsky Games, came out in 2018, it was a big step toward earning public love. The channel quickly gained millions of subscribers, 4.8 million in just 2 years, thanks to its rough, approachable, and sometimes chaotic style. In Jabolinsky videos, Jack Black was shown as the fun uncle who played games, told jokes, and did normal things with his son, like eating tacos or talking. Millions of people quickly connected with Jabolinsky, as the Verge article pointed out. This shows that Jack Black is more than just a funny actor, he's a real person who's not afraid to embrace his silliness. The channel made him more popular with younger people and gamers, solidifying his position as a multifaceted entertainment star. Jack Black made a name for himself as an artist who was not only funny but also friendly, self-deprecating, and always making people happy. This friendly welcome was the high point of his public image. Fans didn't see coming, though, that this national treasure was about to face big problems. A string of controversial actions and comments were beginning to tear down the carefully crafted persona that had been built up over decades. Some people didn't like Jack Black when he openly supported Autism Speaks around 2018. Autism advocates and disability rights campaigners have harsh words for this charity. Autism Speaks has been accused of treating autism like a sickness that can be cured instead of a normal part of being human. It has a history of controversial campaigns that hurt and shamed the people it said it was trying to help. Jack Black's backing was not only a mistake, but it also showed that he wasn't sensitive or responsible with his power. In 2013 and 2015, Jack performed at Autism Speaks events to raise money for the group and help spread the word. A Twitter post from 2018 asked his friends to support Autism Speaks and help those who need it the most by giving money. The post included a link to a donation page. At first glance, this seemed to fit with his fun uncle persona, who is always ready to share happiness. But because he didn't know much about Autism Speaks' main problems, he was criticized. At first, fans were forgiving because they thought he might not have known how bad the company was and was only trying to do good. To defend them on social media, someone wrote, "Put yourself in his shoes. What if he didn't know about their problems? Jack Black seems like a good person." People started to wonder how a famous artist with a professional team and lots of money could have missed the well-known controversy surrounding this group. At first, the public was surprisingly understanding. Many people thought Jack Black wasn't aware of the problems because he always seemed friendly and carefree. Someone on Reddit said, "This is clear proof of how much people trust Jack Black. They're ready to let him off the hook because they think he was just temporarily confused." That being said, the forgiveness didn't last. As Jack continued to support Autism Speaks without giving a reason or saying sorry, anger grew. An activist for autistic people wrote, "Jack Black may not have meant to hurt anyone, but it is unacceptable that he did not look into Autism Speaks. He is in charge of what he supports." People didn't just criticize what he did, they also said that his quiet afterward was irresponsible and insensitive. People first began to doubt Jack Black's image as a harmless person during the Autism Speaks debate. Plus, he didn't even try to fix the problem, he just let it go away without saying sorry. Even though he didn't mean to, this led to bigger problems later on when fans realized their national hero didn't always understand how his decisions affected others. Because he didn't care about the consequences of supporting a controversial group and didn't give a sincere reason, people started to question his honesty and responsibility, which were two things that made people love him in the first place. While people were still not sure if Jack Black supported Autism Speaks, as he became more open about his political views, another crack in his public image grew. Jack Black had talked about politics for years, but always in a funny way that fit with his character as the fun uncle. Tenacious D's 2017 song "This Government Totally Sucks" and his 2020 PSA video with mask-wearing people were both fun, slightly mocking, and generally liked. These comments fit with his funny style and kept him safe between being an entertainer and a political commentator, which kept his draw to a wide range of people. But starting in 2023, Jack Black changed how he did things. He stopped being funny and started talking about serious problems like the conflict between Israel and Palestine, and climate change in a more direct way. For example, what he said about the war between Israel and Palestine got a lot of negative feedback, and some people even called for a boycott of Kung Fu Panda. When he posted a picture that said "Me down. You don't need to give anyone political advice. You make a living as a clown. That's why we watch you." Another comment read, "Man, Jack Black, you've gone downhill." During this period, roughly half of his Twitter posts were political retweets. This shift not only marked a change in how he engaged with the public, but also shattered the entertainment wall fans were accustomed to. For many, Jack Black was an escape from divisive political debates, a source of laughter without forcing a side. His outspoken stance on polarizing topics left many feeling betrayed. Social media advice warned, "Never get into politics. It always ends badly." A Reddit comment summed it up. "I love Jack Black because he made me laugh, not because he told me how to think about politics. Now he's just like every other preachy Hollywood star." The tipping point came in June 2024, when Jack Black publicly endorsed a specific presidential candidate. "A few days ago, my manager called me and said George Clooney and Julia Roberts wanted me to help out the president. And I said, I am in. When and where?" Though not uncommon among celebrities, this move was the final straw for many fans. Some branded him a sellout, accusing him of abandoning neutrality to chase Hollywood's political trends. A swift backlash spread with calls to boycott his projects, including the Kung Fu Panda franchise, a brand long tied to his beloved family-friendly image. Online forums buzzed with fans' disappointment. Jack Black used to bring people together, now he's just dividing them. An informal social media poll showed 85% of participants saying they'd lost respect for Jack Black. Though potentially biased, the poll reflected an undeniable reality. His public choosing of sides severely eroded his image as a unifying icon. From a star who brought joy to all ages, Jack Black became a polarizing figure, caught between those who still supported him and those who felt he'd strayed too far from his role. This shift not only cost him the neutrality he once maintained, but led fans to question whether their national treasure still held the authenticity they once cherished. While the public was still debating Jack Black's loss of neutrality by aligning with a specific political stance, another bombshell hit, this time not from divisive posts or controversial statements, but from a direct moment on stage in front of thousands. Jack Black's band Tenacious D was on their global Spicy Meatball tour, performing across North America, Europe, and Australia. A poorly timed joke and the deafening silence that followed plunged Jack Black's image into a deeper abyss than any prior statement. On July 14, 2024, at the ICC Sydney Theatre during Tenacious D's Spicy Meatball Tour, just 24 days after the presidential endorsement controversy, the band held their second Sydney show coinciding with Kyle Gass's birthday, celebrated on Instagram beforehand. A single moment changed Jack Black's career trajectory forever. The tour marking the band's return after over a decade was expected to be a memorable milestone with sold-out shows and enthusiastic fans. But in mere seconds, a careless remark turned the dream into a nightmare, dragging Jack Black and Kyle Gass into a firestorm of controversy and exposing cracks in their once-admired friendship. This wasn't just a stage mishap, it was the climax of Jack Black's image collapse, from national treasure to a figure criticized for cold calculation and prioritizing personal reputation. The incident occurred during a celebration of Kyle Gass's 64th birthday. During a performance of the band's song, Dear, it led to an exchange. Kyle Gass said, "Don't miss Trump next time." On stage under glittering lights, Jack Black, with his signature grin, brought out a birthday cake and handed Gass the mic, playfully asking him to blow out the candles and make a wish. Expecting a silly classic Tenacious D quip, the audience was stunned when Gass blurted, "Don't miss Trump next time." A reference to a near-successful attack on former President Donald Trump the previous day, July 13, 2024, at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Same shit, don't miss Trump next time. Which left one spectator dead and two others seriously injured, shocking America and the world. Gass's joke, though possibly rooted in his irreverent humor, crossed every line, igniting an unprecedented media crisis. Captured in a fan-posted video, the moment left the audience in stunned silence for a few seconds. Jack Black, standing nearby, appeared shocked. His smile froze, shifting to a visibly tense expression. The crowd, initially chuckling, quickly grasped the gravity of the remark as the video spread like wildfire online. Within hours, outrage erupted. Australian Senator Ralph Babbitt called Gass' comment disgusting and demanded the deportation of both Jack Black and Kyle Gass, stating promoting political violence is unacceptable in any form. Australia's US Ambassador Kevin Rudd also expressed disgust, saying the joke made him sick and was indefensible given the recent tragedy. Jack Black's response came swiftly but fanned the flames instead of quelling them on July 16, 2024. He posted a statement on Instagram. "I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never endorse hate speech or encourage political violence in any form after much reflection. I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. Consequently, all remaining shows in Australia, New Zealand and 5 planned Rock Devote US performances in October were cancelled." Kyle Gass also posted an apology on Instagram, calling his remark highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. But his later deletion of the post fueled speculation about his dissatisfaction with Jack Black's handling of the situation. The fallout extended beyond tour cancellations. Green Talent, Gass's management company, dropped him, leaving him professionally isolated. Meanwhile, Jack Black faced a new wave of criticism from fans who once saw him and Gass as symbols of enduring friendship. Many accused him of abandoning his 30-year friend to protect his personal image and rising film career, especially amid promotions for major projects like Borderlands and Minecraft. A Reddit user wrote, "The focal point of criticism not just for its haste but for its lack of empathy." Instead of defending Gass, his partner since Tenacious D's founding in 1994, or defusing the situation on stage, he publicly distanced himself, emphasizing he was blindsided and uninvolved. To many fans, this was a manipulative effort to prioritize personal gain over a long-standing friendship. If Jack Black was truly blindsided, why didn't he say something on stage? A fan questioned on Reddit. He could have de-escalated right then, but instead he let Kyle Gass take the fall alone. His silence in that critical moment and the tour cancellation were seen as attempts to safeguard his film career, but they cost him the trust of his most devoted fans. This not only hurt Kyle Gass, but shattered Tenacious D's image, a brand beloved for its goofy authenticity. This was a pivotal turning point for Tenacious D. The Guardian article noted from a lighthearted comedic brand to being dragged into a consequential political controversy, with Jack Black's response revealing cracks in their admired friendship. Some argued he could have chosen differently, pausing the tour, publicly supporting Gass as a friend and issuing a joint apology to calm the public. Instead, Black's clean break approach was seen as lacking empathy and loyalty. Jack Black didn't just hurt Kyle Gass, he hurt millions of fans who believed he and Gass were icons of unbreakable friendship, a Billboard commentary stated. Public opinion remained divided. Some supported Black's decision, viewing it as a swift moral condemnation of a dangerous remark. But most felt disappointed, not just by Gass's comment but by Black's handling, which seemed to prioritize self-interest. Hashtags and memes mocking Gass's jokes spread rapidly, but the criticism of Black was fiercer, focusing on his disloyalty. Social media echoed with comments like Jack Black sold out his friendship to keep his Hollywood seat, reflecting profound public disillusionment. The question remains, could Jack Black have handled it differently? A joint apology, an effort to defend Gass, or a more honest approach might have salvaged the situation. By choosing the safe route, not only hurt his longtime collaborator, but placed himself on the edge of relentless criticism. This moment marked not just the collapse of a tour, but the end of an image of a Jack Black once cherished as a beacon of sincerity and humor. Labeled the ultimate sellout, it began impacting his future films. One fan said, "I used to get excited seeing Jack Black in movies, now I skip them entirely." Now Jack Black's name is tied to calculation and betrayal. A steep price for choices made in crisis. These controversies have had a clear impact on Jack Black's film career. His role in Borderlands, a film with a 10% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, became both an artistic and commercial disaster, considered one of 2024's worst movies. Audiences and critics alike slammed his performance as uninspired and repetitive. Worse still, his role as Steve in the upcoming Minecraft film received overwhelmingly negative feedback from the moment the trailer dropped. The trailer garnered over 1 million dislikes, with Steve's character dismissed as uncreative, merely Jack Black in a blue shirt. Even younger audiences, the primary target for Minecraft, rejected the project, calling it trash and a waste of money. Now you're Steve. Of the past, with engagement rates dropping significantly. Most critically, he's lost the most precious asset an artist can have, the unconditional trust and love of his audience. Comments on forums and social media reveal a fundamental shift in how the public perceives him. Jack Black used to be someone I could watch without thinking. Now every time I see him, I just think about how he betrayed Kyle. The national treasure image built on authenticity and humor has been replaced by a divisive Jack Black. An artist increasingly disconnected from his audience. Perhaps the gravest consequence of this saga isn't the career slump or follower loss, but the permanent shift in how Jack Black is remembered. Once associated with laughter, positivity, and sincerity, his name is now tied to these controversies. What's especially regrettable is not just Jack Black's actions, but how he handled the backlash and criticism, particularly his lack of support for his close friend Kyle Gass, which cost him the respect of even his most loyal fans. Prioritizing his personal image over friendship has become a symbol of cold calculation in the entertainment industry. Jack Black's story is a painful lesson in how a public image built over decades can crumble in just a few years. From a widely beloved national treasure to a polarizing figure, many now see him as having sold out his ideals. This downfall wasn't caused by a single event, but by a series of missteps. Endorsing Autism Speaks without due diligence, shifting from humorous to divisive political statements, and most critically, handling a crisis in a way that lacks solidarity with his longtime friend. Perhaps the greatest tragedy is that Jack Black lost what made him magnetic, his authenticity and ability to connect with everyone. He chose fame and personal gain over friendship and consistency with the values he once embodied. While Jack Black may retain some fans and continue with major projects, he'll never reclaim the national treasure status he once held. The final question is, can Jack Black do anything to repair this damage? A sincere apology, a reunion with Kyle Gass, or a return to his carefree comedic persona might win back some affection. But for now, his legacy is forever tied to these controversies, offering a costly lesson about the price of fame and personal priorities in the entertainment world. Jack Black, who once made the world laugh, now leaves many disappointed, and that's the greatest loss in his story.